While there were plenty of positives to take from City's win against Bournemouth in the Premier League, Guardiola confirmed after the match that midfielder Mateo Kovacic will be out for a while, in his words, with an ankle injury. Now, Kovacic is yet to start any game for Man City this season. He's featured just twice as a substitute since undergoing Achilles surgery in June. And Kovacic was not on the bench against Bournemouth. And Guardiola concluded his comments about Kovacic by saying, "We'll wait on him for the last part of the season." So that suggests that maybe he's not going to return anytime soon. So, Stephen, how concerning is that injury update on Kovacic, and how big of a blow is it for City that the midfielder could be out for quite some time now?
Yeah, it's a real shame. Kovacic he was pretty consistent, one of our better players last season actually, in a really topsy-turvy season. I I'm just sort of kind of trying to choose my words respectfully here, but I do think Kovacic it might be his last season anyway. I think there's an element of City potentially moving forward without Kovacic, and I think there was some rumours about him potentially leaving in the summer. I want him to be fit. I want him to be playing football. I do think City are actually in a reasonably decent position now, though, for life without Kovacic potentially. I don't want him to be injured because obviously it's great discomfort to the player and so on. But I think Reinders and Nico Gonzalez in particular are beneficiaries of that, and they are the future of Manchester City. So, is it in terms of the squad building? It's not the worst case scenario having Kovacic not there, but in terms of experience and him being a really effective player and quite a likable player too, and of course you just don't want him injured because it's a shame. Yeah, it's an obvious blow, and I think Pep, of course, would love to have that experience and that press resistance because Kovacic as well, in once again in this aggressive end-to-end basketball era of Premier League football, Kovacic is particularly talented at turning and driving past people. And I think Reinders could actually learn a thing or two from him because Reinders has a very similar burst of acceleration, but Kovacic much more experienced, knows the Premier League better, and also a fantastic new haircut, which would have been a shame not to see on the pitch a little bit more. But yeah, like as a City fan looking at the future. I don't think I'm not particularly like missing him on the pitch right now, if that makes sense. And I'm trying to sound respectful there because obviously I want him back in the squad. I don't want him to be injured. But I think the players that are playing are the ones that probably should be playing even if Kovacic was around, if that makes sense. Because I do think we should be looking in the way that, Gundogan and Akanji at the start of the season were sort of on the bench because he was prioritising the younger lads. Because they are the future. I think that would also, in my opinion, be the case with Kovacic. If he was around, I'd want him to be playing Reinders and Nico Gonzalez anyway, because they are the future of Manchester City. And Kovacic has only got a year or so left anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think 2027 is when his deal expires, and yeah, as you said as well, he's been linked with a move away from City in recent weeks, so we'll have to see on that. And in his absence, you'd expect obviously Rodri when fit, Nico Gonzalez,
hmm
Reinders, as you mentioned, maybe even Rico Lewis to fill in those deep line
Bernardo as well,
midfield
yeah.
roles. Yeah,
Bernardo
yeah.
was good yesterday as well. I felt, but not the glamorous role, but Bernardo, the amount of times he was dropping it right back, or when Nunes got forward, Nunes has been a bit deeper recently, but he got forward a little bit yesterday. Bernardo was there just doing the dirty work, the experience work, and you look, he was obviously really up for this, especially after his comments against Aston Villa, where he was very critical of how we defended in terms of the press and so on. And yeah, I mean, we've got options. I don't think we're actually lacking in midfield options right now, and especially when Phil's learned to do a bit of dirty work as well, which is good.